Hello friends, welcome back to a new best of 3 from the GSL. This is Group B, Cure versus Trigger. The only foreigner in the GSL, Trigger, versus Cure, who is not a foreigner in the GSL. So he's a Korean. Trigger does have Korean heritage, but just like most men that have migrated away from Korea and might have Korean parents or even a Korean passport, they end up giving up that Korean nationality once they turn 18 or 19, so they don't actually have to serve in the army. It feels a bit bad, I guess, if you're 18. You only lived 18 years and then having to serve 10% of what you've lived so far into an army for a country you haven't really lived in, or a nationality that you potentially don't really identify with very much. So I think it's really common for people that migrated to Canada or to the US from Korea, still have that passport, to then give up that nationality once they turn 18 or 19, or at least before they return back to Korea and they are forced into the military service. Of course, at that point, you also can't stay in Korea indefinitely anymore, and you'll need to go there either on like a proper work visa or some type of tourist visa. Either way, that is the the visa situation that we're at. And I don't actually know what type of visa Trigger is on, or if he's given up his Korean nationality. Maybe he can do it later as well. Like I'm just not too familiar with his specifics. All right, what do we have over here? We have a 6 Marine mine drop coming in to start things off with. Tank into Viking. Viking doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you're playing against Oracle, usually. So I'm just a little bit confused, to be honest. I'm just like, what is this? This has to be a push. It's the only thing that makes sense here, is that this is going into some very committed push. We're gonna get another tank out. And another Viking as well. This is going to be an extraordinarily committed push. We have 2 more gates on the way. And a full wall. Which to me feels like the weirdest thing. Robobay coming in, 440. Blinkers need to start moving into the main base. Here comes the mine drop. Blinks in forward. Micro is okay. Loses 3 workers. I think taking out a mine and these Marines might just be worth it. Definitely need to cancel one of these gateways here. And we need continued Stalker production as well. We're currently at 7 Stalkers. That means with a good blink forward, you can 2-shot a tank. You require 11 Stalker shots to kill a tank. So if you have more than 5, so 6 and up, you can always 2-volley the tanks. This is just 5 Stalkers, by the way, so that's not quite good enough. You're gonna need an Immortal most likely as well. Okay, it's gonna try targeting down some of these Marines. This is a way to go about things as well, but I always feel like you take a lot of damage while sniping Marines. It might just be better to fully commit onto those tanks once they try to siege up. Observer really needs to move in as well. Immortal now on the way out. Okay, we're gonna get 1 more Marine. This has been good. I don't know what that was. Looks like it was a Hellion. We get the big blink forward. Viking 1 goes down. Medevac goes down. Viking 2 falls as well. And now the tank is on the way out here as well. We have the cooldown off of the energy recharge. So we could recharge a battery if we want to. But, I mean, this is a great hold here out of Trigger. Get a 3rd CC on the way. We're going to get an eBay out into the natural as well. And Cure forced into a macro game from here on out. From a very disadvantageous position. Yes, the eco is better theoretically for Cure right now, but I think there's just a lot of map control for Trigger. There's a lot of freedom for Trigger. I think Trigger at this point could probably take a 4th base already the moment he sees the 3rd of his opponent. Ooh, that was a nasty blink. 1 Stalker for the Viking. I mean, it is a trade. I think the really cool thing about this trade for Cure is that his 3rd CC didn't get spotted. If your 3rd CC ends up getting spotted here, I think it's a significantly worse situation that you find yourself in. It's going to be double eBay here, by the way, as well, which is also interesting. Five Rex coming in here too. Turret on the way in the natural. The longer Trigger waits, by the way, with the 4th base, the worse it becomes for him. I don't quite know what Trigger is waiting for. I don't quite think that Trigger knows what he's waiting for. Yeah, it's gonna go take it now. Losing that Observer was a very big deal. Can't believe there were 2 more Vikings in the mix. So the worker count has been extremely even, and at this point Trigger can't even really add more workers because he doesn't have the fort base quite yet. Like, what's he gonna do? Get like 90 workers over 4 bases? Pretty freaking useless. So it feels to me like Trigger's hand is kind of being forced into like attacking. Like, it's not being forced into it, but it feels like that's where the game leads naturally, right? He's gonna have 8 gateways. He's going to have +1 finishing up, thermal lens finishing up, fort base relatively late, Templar archives on the way. This feels like everything is being set up for attack, but generally I don't love this type of attack on these low economies. Cure is also going for an attack here. I mean, that is... That is just kind of crazy. And it's going to create such an awkward situation here too. So he gets a scan off. This is so awkward here right now for Trigger. Okay, he sees this army moving across. We're going to get like some semi-base trade. It's going to cost Trigger his 4th base. I actually think that he had to commit fully into the base trade. This is so bad. Cure just kind of snuck by. Cleared that base. Now Trigger needs to take pretty much a game-winning fight over here. It's gonna come from the back. Gonna snipe both of these tanks as well. Okay, Viking goes down. Medevacs looking to maybe escape. Can we get one more blink? We can get one more blink, but it doesn't do anything. Don't forget, there is the Templar archives. So feedbacks are a possibility. As these two are trying to fly a little bit further forward. Dude, he's completely given up on trying to snipe these. I mean, Cure's just gonna go back in, I guess. Unloads, goes back in. Scan spots this move out, and it's going to be 3 base versus 3 base. Double eBay versus single forge, double starport versus single robo. Like, production-wise, gas income-wise, pretty much everything is heavily favoring our good friend Cure right now. The only thing that he's truly lacking is something to deal with Archons. He doesn't have a good tank count, he doesn't have a lot of mines, and he doesn't have any ghost. So Archons are actually pretty fierce as long as there's no ghost. And right now there's no ghost. Viking count also isn't perfect yet. There are 2 Colossus. Colossi. Oh, nice pickup there on the Archon, making sure it doesn't get hit. Zealots are being pulled back. If he can snipe like 1 or 2 of these Vikings right now, that would be a huge deal, honestly. Okay, here come the Colossus moving further forward. Gonna get a couple of kills. We have the drop heading into the main base. Zealot Warpin is not quite gonna be capable of cutting it there. 10 SCVs have gone down, make that 11. CC is on the way out as well. If the Stalkers can kill that, that would be a huge deal. 136 supply to 160, and as this drop is still happening, it's gonna get cleaned up right now, though. Trigger has a 4 CC behind this. You're in kind of an awkward situation. These Archons are putting in some serious work. Really nice control as well out of Trigger. He is lacking in probes, and he's not really rebuilding probes. He is 53 against 56. Income is 2.2 to 2k. In the moment the 3rd CC lands again, I mean, the Terran is just going to run away with this game economically. I think the key here is going to be waiting for 2-2. If the Terran gets to wait for 2-2 before the next fight occurs, that is going to be great. If some ghosts come out before that time, that's going to be even better. But I'm not so certain if Trigger is going to give his opponent that amount of time here. So these barracks are taking quite a beating. The Stalker movement is good. They're trying to zone out these Vikings, stopping them from attacking the Colossus, of course. Here goes another barracks. And here comes some SCVs. Okay, 2-2, 11 seconds away. I said this was the key moment, and Cure seemingly believes so as well, because he's being really freaking careful about this. Okay, here we go. 2-2 finishes up. We instantly get a lift. Vikings in the sky, taking out the first Colossus. Are going to target down the second Colossus as well, but the Vikings are falling at a very rapid pace. Colossus still dealing a lot of damage, and I do believe... No, actually, I don't believe that this is going to go the way of Cure in this battle. I was going to say, I think Cure might win the fight, but lose the war. He might not even win this fight. So lose the fight and lose the war. It's the worst outcome of everything, really. 3-2 on the way already for Trigger. GG gets called as Cure is gonna be tapping out. And Trigger takes game number 1. And as we enter our second map on Winter Madness, we see Cure opening up with a fast SCV that is being sent out. to do the dirty work. I don't quite know what the dirty work is going to be, but to me it smells an awful lot like an eBay block. Trigger is going to scout for early eBay blocks. Then moves towards the left. And across. Just barely missing this SCV. It is unfortunate. So Trigger is going to build a CC, or sorry, Cybernetics Core, that's a CC. Cybernetics Core, and move that same worker down onto the low ground. By the time it arrives, this eBay is going to be over halfway done. Or close to halfway done. Multiple workers will need to be pulled. Oh, look at that. This is the double block. So Cure probably knows the exact response that Trigger wants to play. And Cure here is blocking the response immediately by going to the preferred third base for Protoss players and already pre-blocking that. So effectively blocking two bases at the same time. A very cool move, in my mind at least. We now have this awkward position on the third base. Mighty curious to see how Cure is going to follow it up. So it was a Marine CC into factory. Just a barracks gas in that case. Second depot coming down right now. Could still go into Hellions from here on out. But as there's no starport, I don't think it's going to be proxy starport Hellions, if I'm being real honest. Gonna have to wait and see. It could also be like a fast Cyclone rush. We've seen a lot of different follow-ups coming out of this particular build order. And all of them are valid, I think. That's the thing, right? Like all of them are definitely valid. Okay, got a Twilight coming in. It's gonna be a mind drop. Okay, I hadn't expected this. I said everything is valid, but I've never seen this before. Usually it either goes into some type of like tank push, cyclone push. I've seen a lot of Hellion play because the bases are split and it's hard to deal with having to hold this ramp. So I am honestly kind of surprised to see mines being the weapon of choice here. Actually extremely surprised. Marines doing an okay job shooting at stuff. There's going to be 7 Marines out soon, as well as 2 mines. I think the Marines will be used to clear the low ground, and then the mines go into the medevac and see what they can do from there. I am very confused. It's just so rare to see this type of stuff. Actually, Adept is going to finish up as well. Mine drop is going to go across. I mean, this CC is just going to take a lot of damage. And look what's happening here. So you could say, oh, it's just taking damage. He can repair it later. True. That's going to cost him money, though, right? Not just the money to repair, but also the money in which your SCV is in mining. On top of that, SCV production has been stalled by like, what, 15, 20 seconds? That means minus 2 SCVs. Just by these 2 Stalkers being down here now. Mine drop is going to fly across the map. A couple more Marines here are dying as well. These 2 Stalkers are going to try and deal with this threat. We get a really bad recall, I think, because it actually allows... the mines to take out one of the Stalkers and still pick up and fly away. There's no third base quite yet. It's going to go into 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink without a prism, but with an observer. I mean, I am quite frankly shocked. This is a very odd build order. A very odd build indeed. We still have a mine drop out. That means that Stalkers need to be somewhere. They can only pick one out of the 2 bases, because these bases are not connected. Usually you can keep your Stalkers in between. You can defend both your main as well as your natural. That's not going to be the case over here. Stalkers taking a lot of damage already as well. Like I said, 2 Stalkers over here. If this medevac decides to fly it into the main base, it's going to be trouble. These guys are trying to deal some damage, but instead 1 Stalker goes down, 2 Stalkers go down. Prism is going to fly across right about now. I don't want to call games over before they're over, but this feels extraordinarily strong here right now for our good friend Cure. Stim hasn't finished up quite yet, but is on the way. So it's another 85 seconds and then it comes out. It's mine drop on the high ground. It's going to maybe be capable of killing at least a... at least a probe. Gonna get another blink into the main. Let's see what the range of this tank is. Okay, so we have quite some maneuvering room. Next tank is about to come out. Always need to be careful though with those extra tanks. As, this reactor's gonna get sniped. It's a big deal. It takes a long time to rebuild that thing, let me tell you. This tank is gonna move a little bit further forward. Going to pretty much force these stalkers back. There we go. One big shot. Next big shot. I think at this point you gotta be really careful. Raven is in the main base. Gonna throw down another auto turret, which will get 4 or 3 or 2 workers. 5 workers have gone down total. This Raven gotten 4 of them. Don't actually know who got that last one then, but either way, it's looking mighty fine here for Cure still. 21 army supply to 39. The only thing that's being delayed right now is the medevacs. But I think this army, even without medevacs, is going to be fairly strong. Combat shield coming in. We're going to at some point obviously start marauder production and concussive shells as well. What was that? Yeah, and he has the vision. This is Trigger using all of his senses. He's like, I can see that the tanks are there. But can my stalker feel it as well? It's like, blinks in. Gets absolutely shelled to death. He's like, yep, you can feel it too. Fantastic. Soon he's gonna put his nose close to the screen. See if he can smell the tanks. Spoiler alert, you can't actually smell the tanks. That'd be crazy. Imagine they're just like outside of the fog of war and the stalker would go like, it smells like engines over here. That'd be good. That would be fantastic. Oh, we're gonna actually get a nice little zealot drop here on top of this. Pick up as well. So there was 1 zealot going down for 1 tank. Now for all the mathematicians over here on YouTube. Fantastic trade. 1 zealot for a tank. Hell yeah. That's a resource trade I take any day of the week. Because it's just a good one. Charge has finished up at this point, I think. Yep, there we go. No forge though. So this is just... yeah, what is this? This is just bad. Because it probably means that Trigger needs to attack right now. It's going to be on 3 gas. It's adding 5 pylons. There is a 3rd CC on the way, as well as barracks 4 and 5. And 3 tanks. That's the difference with the previous game, is that these tanks are still alive. Ooh, Prism taking quite a bit of a beating. We're going to get double Viking here as well, which I think is just a good call. Trigger's going to move over. With the Prism, with 2 Colossus. No fort base behind it. Forge though coming down. So we're getting some upgrades. Let's take a look at what this is all about. What is this all about, huh? Oh, there goes an SCV down the drain. 3 Marauders on the way as well. 2nd eBay Armory. Get a big scan on top of this fat army. Ooh, 2 probes going down here as well. Kicks around, sets up. Okay, Colossus need to target down those Marines. And you see the Colossus are definitely targeting down those Marines. A lot of them burning down right now. A lot of damage is being wasted. Or not wasted, is being killed. Fantastic job here by Trigger. Honestly, probably the best possible fight he could have hoped for. I think the problem with the best possible fight is that the fight still kinda sucks. This is like spinning a giant wheel. You know, like a wheel of fortune. Except instead of nice things, like you're gonna win a car or we'll send you on a holiday, it's like we'll cut off 1 of your legs or 2 of your legs or just 3 toes. Trigger just... He spun that wheel. And it landed on cutting off 2 toes. And you know, is it better than getting your head chopped off? Yeah, most definitely. It's still... You know, it's still a net negative though. Like, that fight was not good for Trigger. Trigger lost the only thing that he had, which was a nice army. And he didn't kill enough with it. There was no fort base behind it. He's now going to go into Templar Archives. I think he probably wants to go for a similar push as in the previous game. The problem is that in the previous game he was in a really good spot. And in this game, he's not in a really good spot. So, it's not really something that you can just kind of carry over, in my mind. We're gonna get a force stim, which is just bad. Like, this is not at all what you want if you're Cure. Like, losing energy. Actually, medevac count at 5 is plenty for an army this size. Yeah, okay, now we're completely fine. Like, he could stim 2 more times, and honestly, there'd still be energy for the 3rd stim. Like, that is not great here for Trigger. Trigger really wants to go. I think the Viking count is just too large, to be honest. There's so many Vikings here, and we have 2 more coming in. It's going to be 7 Vikings. Ay. Put them on a boat. They might just go to America. 14 SCVs being taken out, but the Colossus are dying too. And despite, once again, there being some significant economic damage, this is a very one-sided battle. You spin the wheel, and now your foot is off as well. And it's not the one that was already missing the toes, so you only have 3 toes remaining, Trigger. How are you doing, buddy? Not very well. That's going to be the answer. 2-2 upgrades on the way out as well. Ghosts are now about to hit the field. The 3rd base is just temporarily being given up, but the problem here just is that there's no eco behind this for Trigger to really, you know, launch him into freaking economy orbit. Like, this is just... He's okay, but that's about it. Prism is going to get taken out. Colossus is about to come out. I hope these Vikings don't land before that moment. We get some good kiting. Here goes the Colossus. And well, Marine's taking a bit of damage. +2 infantry weapons is about to finish up. And once that is done, I think none of these battles are ever going to favor the Toss in a million years. Vikings have landed. Stalkers are busy dying. And Trigger is going to be forced out of this game. Against his will, because he would probably love to stay a little bit longer. But he knows that there is no reason to, as his 3rd base is about to go down. GG gets called as Cure ties up this series and forces the ace match. So our final game will be played on 10,000 feet. So we get an instant scout here, not a Trigger. And I am curious. Okay, I'm not curious anymore. I was curious if this was going to be a pylon across the map, or more of a probe across the map type of situation. I was kind of hoping for a pylon across the map type of situation. There's been a build order in rotation. Zaun was the first one that I've seen play it. It's a really nice 2-gate proxy into some other stuff. With a fast scout as well, and I thought it was lovely. I was kind of hoping that Trigger was going to play that here, but it doesn't seem to be the case. We have Cure opening up with a single gas instant refinery pool. He's going to go for double gas. This is actually a really common response against an instant scout. I believe it is because Terrans feel a little bit vulnerable when they're being scouted this early and they're being harassed by a probe. So they want the safety of the double gas, the quick factory, the fast reaper, the quick depot, the full wall, without having to scout. So you basically get all the advantages of being safe and none of the disadvantages of being forced to scout, which is kind of cool. I think we're going to get a Reaper out first, and then we fly the barracks over. Usually that's the case. Reaper into Reactor, and the Reactor is going to be in position. Second depot will be in position as well. As this probe has done a decent job at harassing, dealing a bit of damage. It's going to need to leave relatively soon. This was a Nexus before core, by the way. Look at that core timing. What are we looking at then? An instant scout Nexus in the core. I've never seen this. 10 seconds. 11, 12, 136 on the core. I can't do mental math right now. It's gonna be 12. That's actually not that bad. 212 as a time as a finish timing on a core. You know, I'm kind of down with that. If you're instant scouting, that is a very decent timing to have it happen. Must have been some pretty decent worker micro here. It's gonna be slightly earlier. It was like 210. Wow. All right, you know what? I'm digging this. Stalker first. The reason for that is because the Stalker is the fastest unit that comes out. So it can actually deal with some Reapers. Blind Battery gets controlled. It's not a Blind Battery, it's just a battery. I was gonna say, oh, Blind Battery, look at him. But it's just battery, because he scouted the double gas. So this is completely allowed. This is tournament legal. Absolutely. And also ladder legal. No one would fight you on this. Second battery in the main base. Okay, now we're getting into... are you sure this is what you want to do territory? I always feel like if you build double battery blind, or double battery just in general, the problem with that tends to be that even if things go very well, you still build 2 batteries. You know, it's like, how great is that really? It's like having 3 insurance policies for your house. It's like, and then the storm comes and doesn't hit your house. It's like, well, I'm glad the house is still here, but you still paid for 3 insurance policies. You know, it was expensive. It's the same with the double battery. It is a very serious investment that, hey, it sometimes pays off. You know, in the end, it often pays off. This was force fieldable, I think. This also is force fieldable. I guess he wants these units to be in here. Okay, that's going to be 1 Reaper down, 2nd Reaper down. This is a good defense. You know what? I'm not going to complain about this at all. We're going to need a pylon, and we're going to need it yesterday. It's going to come today. 44 out of 46. Warp gate's about to finish up, and the follow-up is going to be a mine drop. It's not going to hit quickly. It's actually going to hit quite slowly. Next is off of 2 gate here. That is ambitious, is what the kids would call it. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of ambition. I'd almost be afraid here. 2nd barracks is coming out as well. I'm expecting a tech lab somewhere. One of these two should get a tech lab. Oh, wow. We're gonna get a swap, and it means no tanks. I guess a 3rd barracks? Huh. 3rd barracks, Raven. And this is a reactor, maybe? I don't even know what is going on here. This is a wild opener out of Cure. He's playing this extraordinarily risky. Because with 0 tanks... isn't aware of the fact that there's a fast 3rd either. So you could say if he scouts the 3rd base, this is a, you know, this is a legit play. But here, I'm not so sure. We're going to go 6 gate into Robo Bay. And then I guess follow it up with charge as well. We're going to probably get 4 gases. Okay, here comes this thing. Insane warp in there, by the way. We're going to get a pool of the workers trying to kill that, that mine drop before it gets to land. We have the observer on the other side of the map too. Oh man. Hellions are putting in some serious work. We're gonna get the swap post-Raven. 3rd CC on the way to it. This is such a weird build order out of Cure. I really am kind of shocked. He's just playing this... and now he's gonna get tanks? He's got all the safety out of this build to still get late tanks anyway. So quite frankly, I'm just shocked. It is just a new type of style that I'm not super familiar with. Like these Raven stim combat. The Hellion run by is actually going to deal some damage. Going to get at least 1 probe. Probably gets the 2nd one. Quite a bit of mining time lost as well. 3 workers go down. That's neat. There's no forge quite yet here for Trigger. Has seen the 3rd CC. I really do believe that a fast 4 CC is what we'd want in these types of scenarios. It hasn't been what Trigger's been doing, though. Trigger seems to be completely fine with delaying his fort base for a higher gateway count, for example. In this case, he's going to go double forge before the fort base as well, which I'm not completely opposed to. The only problem I have with the double forge in this case, like take a look at the gas that we have right now. It's going to be enough gas, barely, for a Colossus. We have 7 Stalkers out, and we're building 2 Forges as well. Like, the 1-1 is not going to start instantly, you know? You're going to need to mine a bit more gas, so the Fort Nexus needs to come down anyway. Yeah, here we go. Colossus, no gas for this, and definitely no gas for extra Stalkers. It's going to need to wait a little bit. Blink back is too late, gets 2 shots there from the tank onto his unit. The probe makes its way across the map and is going to put some pylons in key positions, key spotter positions, I should say, as Cure sits back, relaxes, and decides that now is the perfect time to do nothing, his own little mental holiday. Hallucination is going to move towards the south, and if a hallucination moves towards the south, usually it doesn't show back up again in the north. Those are the rules of engagement. 57 SCVs against 67 probes, soon to be 8 gateways. Liberators already. I mean, this is just... I don't quite understand what's going on in this game. To me, it felt like Cure was setting up for a really fast stim combat shield timing by skipping tanks. But instead, he did get very fast stim and pretty quick combat as well, and then didn't use it. Which is definitely a decision you're allowed to make. It's just not a decision that we often see being made. Liberators now coming out. We already have one out, I believe. I mean, that siege is up. I'm not saying this area is impossible to penetrate. It's just going to be rough, you know? it is not going to be easy. Liberators have insane damage output. Tanks are going to be great against the Colossus as well as the Stalker count. Storm, Prism, 10 gate as our follow-up. Which is completely fair, by the way. I am okay with that. So Fort CC comes in here as well. 6th gas. So a lot of Protoss players here would prefer going for a much faster expansion. Like a policy of expanding much quicker. But we actually see Trigger very keen on taking high gas counts. What's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 gases. Wouldn't surprise me if he takes 8 as well at some point. And a really late 5th base. Given that he has complete freedom right now. Gateway in the middle of the map for quick reinforcements. We're going to get Immortals into the mix now too. Post 2 Colossus. We're going to get a second robotics facility for even more Immortal. And we have a Prism that should get the Gravitic Drive, I think it's called. The Prism Speed upgrade. I'm quite frankly just shocked. I don't quite understand what's going on over here. Now we get a 5th base. Like, both players are just kind of confusing me. You can see that this is an important game. It feels like neither player really wants to risk anything. Like, so far we've seen Trigger just attack into any position that he can think of. And we've seen Cure even play a bit more aggressive than he has in the past in the previous games. But in this particular game, both players are like, you know what, I just don't want to risk anything. And very often, if you don't risk anything, you are risking everything. Because you're just wasting your time. You're not, you know, getting the, like, using the advantages that you have. I guess Cure feels like the late game is going to be to his big advantage. We have a Prism now trying to head into this area. But you have plenty of Marines in position. Prism plus 4 Zealots dies. That is minus 10 supply. Dark Shrine on the way here as well. So there's a couple more of these gateways. Let's take a look at the amount of storms that we have. Here comes an anti-armor missile. It's going to connect with a big portion of this army. As we see Trigger moving towards the bottom side right now. A lot of these Templars are extraordinarily clumped. There's only 4 ghosts in the mix though, from what I can see. Okay, 5 ghosts, so a couple of EMPs. Really, all you need is 2 EMPs, one over here, boom. These guys are completely useless. Here we go, that's going to be, okay, 2 EMPs on these Templar. They're out of energy right now. It means that the Colossus need to be very careful. There's not enough Vikings to really push this back. Stargate on the way as well. Trigger completely setting up right now for what we'd call a proper late game. He's gonna attack into this position, which is insanity. I do not think that is possible. Loses 20 supply at an instant. Kills absolutely nothing. He's gonna try again in the same position. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice. The game might just be over. Okay, a couple of EMPs connecting. Anti-armor is still active as well. More Marauders now coming from north. This is going to be a terrible fight here for Trigger. Trigger getting completely bomb-blasted out of this game. So you have a couple of Zealots that are now hitting this 3rd base, but I just don't quite understand what Trigger is seeing happen here in this position. Like attacking into Liberator tank, Ghost Planetary. With an army that doesn't seem particularly well suited for it. I don't actually think there's anything he can do pre-5th base right now. I mean, he can expand. He can extend his lead. He can expand his lead. He can do loads of things on the map. I think attacking into this, especially over here, is kind of crazy. The bottom side, I think, is probably the worst thing because you're making yourself very flankable from this type of area, from a high ground, pretty much, the moment you're here. I guess you open up some opportunities to maybe deal some damage on this area. I just think that the main army should trying to knock on this door, and then maybe the DTs should be trying to take out, you know, something else. Ooh, Colossus here finds a couple of these ghosts. That's a big deal. Ghost flank gets completely stopped as a result of that. Disruptors being added into the mix. We don't have any air weapons coming out quite yet. This base is now done. I thought we had some DTs, but I don't know where they went. They might have just died. Terrible way to go, dying. Fusion core on the way. Now it's about time, one could say. I mean, this is a cute Blinken. He snipes a Liberator and a Ghost. This actually was a very good move. I actually think this was a phenomenal move. And I think it opens up the game a little bit. Just the issue I have here is that these rotations are so hard to make work due to the existence of these sensor towers, right? Like, you just see where the Protoss is going to be at. They're going to get another attack. There's no Templar in this army. That means Disruptor's really the only thing keeping this army back. And as we only have one Disruptor, that means there's only one thing keeping this army back. And that's a single Disruptor. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Viking count is now growing as well. It's going to be a scary battle here for Trigger. Actually, it's more than just scary. I think this is unwinnable almost. Double Purification Nova's coming out. One way too far in the back. Get one more Disruptor to shoot. Doesn't do anything. Resource lost. Look at this. We're closing in on a 2-to-1 ratio here. As Trigger's getting wiped off the face of the earth. I mean, I don't quite understand what he was expecting to happen in that corner there. Like, that was a dream scenario for the Terran. Yes, the Terran had worse upgrades, but who gives a crap? The Terran has a huge army. That is just better. Now we're getting some Templar again, but we also got Cloak on the Ghost, and there's no Observers available. Mothership on the way out. EMP is gonna connect as Cure is moving in right now. Reinforcements are being picked off, so this gateway is actually doing God's work. The Zealots are doing the opposite of God's work. They're ruining God's work. Pissing away their lives by running into Marine Marauder Ghost. It is 5 base versus, I guess, effectively 6. 6, yeah, I mean... This is gonna be a very tough hold. Extraordinarily tough hold. +3 ship weapons on the way as well. Viking count is pathetic, as the mothership is on the way out. And here we go with one more fight. Let's see, can Trigger survive? He's still close to being maxed out. He has an okay bank. But none of these things really matter if you're playing against a much superior Terran force, which is just what we have over here. The one thing that can be said for Trigger's position is that all of these Medivacs are almost out of energy, and that means that the next stim is going to seriously put the hurt on this army and turn a lot of these Marauders orange, a lot of these Marines orange as well. And I think Cure is starting to realize, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets Caduceus instantly. Yeah, there we go. Caduceus Reactor on the Fusion Core. Getting that energy regeneration on the Medivacs is so vital in this type of position. Like, the next stim is actually going to hurt so much. It's gonna be crazy. Double Purification Nova is coming out, killing some of the Ghosts. Another Purification Nova is dealing a lot of damage. Good couple of shots there. Resource loss still 22k to 13k. Not really the dream scenario that you want when it comes to the resources lost, in my opinion. Ooh, Prism's gonna try to get into the natural, but these Vikings and turrets are just a little bit too fierce, stopping every single thing that's coming in. Mothership's gonna make its way towards the far right. It's gonna get spotted by the factory, though. So we have more Marine Marauder being rallied into the main base. Here we go. Ghost count looks healthy. Vikings being taken out, and... Ooh, actually some decent shots there. Let's take a look at the first-person view. Okay, here we go. He's not actually gonna recall, right? No. He's not actually gonna recall. Now we're gonna get an attack into this position. Cure out of position. This planetary could be in trouble. We're really lacking the zoning tools here. I'm adding some Templar, like, mentally into this. You double storm this, one storm over here. Maybe you're taking down that planetary, which would have been a big deal. Cure's mining isn't what it once used to be. 3 patches here. I mean, practically, what, 4 patches over here, 3 patches here. Oh, we're gonna get another attack. Purification Nova's not quite hitting in the biggest of ways, but they're hitting. Can we get a storm in? We're trying to. Mothership still on the right side, looking for something. Stalker's now gonna go and catch these Vikings, potentially. Oh, not quite the case. A little bit too slow there with the blinks. Mothership can still move forward, of course. So now we have a Protoss army on 2 sides. And I do wonder if it's gonna be enough. We're gonna get a blink in forward. Liberator goes down. Can kill this tank as well. Look at that. Beautiful maneuvering. Tank falls. There go some of your siege units. Mothership makes its way towards the left side. What is this? Zealots, they're gonna run into the 3rd, maybe? Okay, this entire army is now together. Definitely do think we're gonna need a quick pylon over here. Cure's resources are piling up. I think a thing you could do right now is send the mothership towards the left. You probably should have done it earlier and keep this money on this, in this general area. I really think there's some potential there. Is this base gonna get taken out by I mean, 2 drops of units, but just a single medevac. So, make it that what you will. This is completely unrealistic. So we're moving towards the far left. I don't think there's enough stuff here, by the way. Okay, we have a bunch of turrets ready. And here we go. Are we gonna get a recall? That is the real question right now. Templar are gonna move through the Liberator zones. They're not being spotted. Not in time, at least. And here we go. We're in the main base. Mothership has disappeared right now. The Viking Ghost moving back in. This is an interesting maneuver. Let's keep a look at the resources lost. 29k to 19k right now. A 10k difference. Let's see what these numbers are like at the end of this battle. Taking out production is always a cool play. But so far not a whole lot of production has been taken out. There's nowhere to run to either with these disruptors. As, oh, he's just getting cornered. And he's losing this fight at the same time. Trigger paying about as much attention as I was to that fight. I said it was a 10k difference. Now it's a 15k difference. Now losing 5k resources more than your opponent generally is not considered to be a very optimal move. It's actually bad. It's like half the army value. It is half the army value, actually. Like, pretty much exactly. So Trigger can probably max out one more time. He's rebuilding the mothership. He's building Colossus, which is interesting too. Colossus not exactly a heavy hitter, so to say, in the late game usually. Quite weak even, one could say. Oh, there we go. Pops out. There's such a large force of units out. I think that thing's gonna die instantly. Battery's trying to heal it, but it falls. One more Colossus is out as the Stalker Zealot comes in. It's gonna deal with some of these orbitals. What's the orbital count? Well, after this, maybe just 3. That would be nice for maybe Dark Templar. Let's see. Now, we have a couple of scans still available, so I think DTs are also just a dream at this point. On top of that, the orbital also survives, so 4 orbitals total is not the greatest of looks here for the Protoss player. 55 works to 51. Bunch of DTs. This is the first time we see a serious DT warp, you know? Yeah, we only lost 3 so far. I really think there was some play for DTs earlier. Like, army... I still think that a really cool thing that you can try to do is have, like, basically 3 groups of units. One group being the mothership for these, like, weird recalls. One group being your main army, and then one group being your DTs, pretty much. Like, I think they can work in a way where it makes it really difficult for the Terran to deal with all threats kind of at the same time. So they're going to have to pick sides, and picking sides is really difficult to do as a Terran as well. Okay, here we go. Blinks forward, kills the sensor tower as well as a turret. I mean, these DTs are probably just going to die. That's the reality, I think. He's going to need to blink out, but yeah. Blink's still on cooldown. That's not good news. That is extraordinarily bad news. We're going to get a fight in the middle right now. Purification Nova's not even flying quite yet. Templar not getting the connections that they need either. And I think we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Just in a little bit of trouble. Alright, Trigger is just so far behind. Like, usually I'd say, one good fight, but... I mean, Trigger hasn't taken one good fight yet this game. And also, even if he does take one good fight, he probably needs to take another good fight. So you're asking him to do something twice in a row that he's never done before. So it's a very unlikely outcome here, in my opinion. We're gonna cast a Time Warp, which is nice. I mean, it's dealing some damage, but this army is just completely cornered as Cure is going to collapse on top of it. Mothership is gonna go down. Everything is going to fall as Trigger gets completely wiped off the face of the earth. This base also is being forced to lift. I think that is a trade that Cure is willing to take. It's like your entire army and your chances in this game. For me, losing 7 SCVs and you delaying a little bit of mining over here on the 9 o'clock, I give that move 4.5 stars, let me tell you. Hell, I give it more than 4.5 stars, is what Cure says. Liberator sieging up. We're gonna take out this base, and at this point it's just like... he's just gonna do it one by one. Like, he's just gonna walk across the map, he's gonna kill one base, then he's gonna kill another base. He's gonna keep freaking going. Trigger tries his best, is even trying to target down this planetary right now. Doesn't quite succeed. One could even say that he has failed at it. And there's one DT. Do you have any scans? We have no scans. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, we have 1 scan available now. 2 turrets on the way as well, though. So I guess he doesn't want to waste this scan. I lied. He doesn't want to waste this scan. Can't put a price on peace of mind, I guess. Okay, Colossus are going to clear this. Marauder stimming to the left are going to kill this. Like, the fact that he's stimming, like, he's just clearing this right now. Like, Trigger is just forgetting to leave. Like, he's desperate. He really wants this freaking planetary. What the hell? Hey, buddy, there's going to be 2 more. Where that came from. This is one of them, you know? Like, it'd be great if you'd get it, but there's more work to do afterwards, buddy. Okay, don't end there. GG gets called. Cure wins the series with a 2-1 score after a phenomenal game number 3 late game. And that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks, and bye-bye.